ได้แค่เพียงบอกได้แค่เพียงหลอกบอกตัวเองว่าฉันไม่เสียใจทั้งที่ใจอยากร้องตะโกนบอกถ้าเพียงเธอเข้าใจ
Hello everybody. So to begin with on this video, I'd like to explain a couple of things first. I want to tell you about the songwriting process of Tao and Silly Fools, because it explains a lot about Hangman. So before they made an album, Tao and Silly Fools would go away separately to their homes and write some demos of their own. Just demos of backing tracks, no melodies, just ideas for songs. And then just before recording the album, they'd all come back together again to the studio and listen to each other's demos that would then form the album. And funny enough, for all the albums I did with them, Candyman, Mint, Juicy and King Size, they only ever had a maximum of 9 songs, and GMM policy was to have 10 songs in those days. So here's some trivia for you. In the case of Candyman, I actually wrote the 10th song, which is called Kerkon. It came from a guitar riff that I'd written before on one of my old songs. So we just used that and built the track around that. So there you go. So my point is that when we did Hangman, Tao had already written about 6 or 7 songs, or rather backing tracks, for the next Silly Fools album, which of course we all know never happened. So there. So that's the process of the songwriting, and that's how we started with demos on Hangman. I'm sure you know by now that we were auditioning drummers, guitarists, bass players while we made the album of Hangman. So first in was Gia, the bass player, who I introduced to Tao. And Gia had been playing with Galaxy before that and a few other projects for me. Then Gay came in, but we still couldn't find a drummer, and we hadn't found the second guitarist yet, which was Jack. So we asked Yai Loso, legendary drummer of Loso, as I said, Fahrenheit, Asiniwasan, to come and play for us, because he's one of the best drummers in Thailand. And he agreed to do it. So this is what we're going to start with today. Here is the stereo pair of the drums, already mixed with effects and stuff. And let's just have a listen, because Yai really is a superb drummer. Very, very in time. He's just like a machine. I'll put the click in so you can hear it. So tight. And there's a few tasty fills. So tight. Oh, my favourite fill. Listen to that. So nice. Wow. So, in case you didn't know, what I do is I usually take about 5 takes of the drum parts, and then I edit the best bits together. But in the case of Yai, I could not tell the difference between the 5 takes. He was that accurate. Incredible drummer. What a guy. For this session, Yai was reading music. And he just played it the same every time. So what I'm going to show you here, these are the drums, as you know, as I've shown you. This is originally from Tao's demo. There's a little drum pattern thing I'll show you now. with the drums, that will sound like this. And that's basically in all the hooks. Okay, and then what I did was I did some editing on the kit. So after we finished the drum tracks, I did these effects using the original drum tracks mixed down. So this first part I'll show you. Right, so that's there's one of Yai's fills, and I throw it into a huge reverb, and then I take one of his main normal drum parts and EQ it until it sounds like this. And this part here, same trick. This phase drum thing, this is Yai's drums again, but put through a phaser and a filter as well. So all together that sounds like this. So yeah, let me show you these two sections. So this is the chorus, the hook part, which is here.
หลอกทำไมไม่บอกกันที่รักที่หยอกที่เคยให้ต่อกันความเฉยชาที่เธอให้มาเริ่มจะกดดันให้ฉันน้อยใจ
Verse.
บอกพยายามบอก
And the next section is this breakdown here. Here we go. And there you have it. That's a bit of the fun rhythm stuff going on. I guess the next thing to mention is this tambourine part. This is me playing a live tambourine. The reason I decided to do it is because everything was so tight and electronic. Even Yai was playing live drums, but he's so machine-like. I wanted to make sure that I could complement the track and make it feel a little bit more loose and not quite so machiney. So here's a tambourine. And I promise you that's live. When you mix it with the drums, let's do that. And I pan it left, so you see on the left side it's louder because the hi-hat on the drums is panned right, so it kind of plays opposite to the hi-hat. Let's play you just a bit of the drums and the tambourine so you see. You hear the hi-hats on the right and the tambourine's more on the left. It just balances the stereo. And then when you put the machines in, it just gives it a looser feel. So here are the acoustic guitars. The reason I suggested this acoustic guitar part was the same reason as the tambourine, which is, you know, when you've got something that's quite machine going on, if you don't want it to sound too much like a machine and want the human element back, then we use tambourines and acoustic guitars and just to free the track up a little bit so it wasn't too machine sounding. So here's the acoustic. And that goes like that, like a little country boy. Now the next verse. Just these are what I call flays, which I just put the chord down. Sometimes I like to double up the acoustic guitar with an electric guitar playing exactly the same part. We just actually did it in just this section here. So you'll hear what that sounds like too. So the next guitar is some of the more distorted guitars. This is playing like the main riff in the verse. So that goes like this. Of course, you all know by now, I edit them to make them really clean. There are no rock guitars on the bridge of this song. We did that purposely. So we'll move on to the rock guitars and the hook now, which are here. There are, they're basically our punky skater boy guitars. Going back into the verse chugs. I don't know if you can hear it, but I've put a slight room reverb on these. But these, no. They're completely dry. Which is probably why they're on separate tracks. So now we're getting into the area which I call the U2 area. So what goes along with that is this two-note thing. Let me show you that. These two notes basically go with all of those chords, so I'll show you. See, so all the guitars, they fit together, but I've got them on separate tracks because they're all slightly different. So here's all the guitars. So now we're going to finally put these ones in, which are the proper over-the-top U2 ones, which change all the way through towards the end. Go something like this. upper harmony. So my overall idea with this song, it's all about beats, you know. So for example, let's go back to the bass. In essence, it's about this. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So obviously everyone else is playing a similar thing in 8 notes, but just to change it up a bit, the last hook we're playing so it makes the song not be so ploddy. It just makes it move a bit more, so it's kind of like a half time. It's between a slow song and a fast song. It's a medium song, but I wanted it to progress. The guitar's playing the main 8 notes. See the contrast between the guitar and the bass. So I'm just going to go through some of these synths with you. Let's listen to this one. Okay, so this is from Do's original demo. That's from the demo. This. Yep. And that goes with that part. And that's all from Do's demo. This part, this short wire, only actually occurs at the beginning. This tinkle pad. That's mine. That's in the hook part. And to emphasize this double time thing, I put a piano on the later hooks like this, just to pick up the tempo a bit, but not too much. See how everything complements each other. Okay, it's worth mentioning that this is a much simpler song than Chocolate or some of the others. And so therefore the vocal sound design is simpler too. However, not that simple. So let's just go through that, okay? So we'll go through the main vocals here. Obviously, you know there's no effect on this part.
เพียงบอกได้แค่เพียงหลอกบอกตัวเองว่าฉันไม่เสียใจทั้งที่ใจอยากร้องตะโกนบอกถ้าเพียง
I did my old trick that you all know. I put reverb on one word.
ถ้าเพียงเธอเข้าใจ
But only a little tiny reverb. But it does make a difference. It wettens it up. Especially if it's been dry the whole time and then it's suddenly wet. So now the reverb that I put on here stays on for the next verse.
สายตาบอกร่องรอยแตกร้าวของหัวใจ
Okay, so now for the chorus vocals, I just highlighted some words with harmony.
รอแค่ใช้สายตาบอกร่องรอยแตกร้าวของหัวใจพยายามกี่ครั้งก็ตามแต่ฉันก็ได้แค่ผิดหวังแล้วมันก็คล้ายเรื่องเดิมหนึ่งคนใส่ใจอีกคนก็ไม่เห็นค่าเรื่องมันคล้ายกับคลาหัวตัวฉันต้องเสีย
The whole thing is in harmony.
จริงหรือหลอกทำไมไม่บอกกันที่รักที่หยอกที่เคยให้ต่อกันความเฉยชาที่เธอให้มาเริ่มจะกดดันให้ฉันน้อยใจ
Because we've had normal vocal and then we've had the harmony. Where do you go from there? It has to be an octave, and luckily enough, Do can sing an octave. Because it's a mixture of his double track, so it's double tracked plus an octave.
พยายามบอกด้วยตาจนลาถึงหัวใจพยายามกี่ครั้งก็ตามแต่ฉันก็ได้แค่ผิดหวังแล้วมันก็คล้ายเรื่องเดิมหนึ่งคนใส่ใจ
You see how I mess about with sometimes just harmony, sometimes just double track. Let's hear that with Toe's vocal in.
ได้แค่ผิดหวังแล้วมันก็คล้ายเรื่องเดิมหนึ่งคนใส่
And to make the vocal sound different, I always put vocal harmonizer on the main vocal. You can hear how wide it is. Listen to that.
แล้วมันก็คล้ายเรื่องเดิม
As opposed to this.
แล้วมันก็คล้ายเรื่องเดิมหนึ่งคนใส่ใจอีกคน
You can hear there's no harmonizer.
ก็ไม่เห็นค่า
Put this in.
เรื่องมันคล้ายกับคลาหัวตัวฉันต้องเสียใจจริงหรือหลอกทำไมไม่บอกกัน
So we had all of these little things going on. So now to add interest, I just do delay on particular words like this here and here.
ให้ฉันน้อยใจจริงหรือหลอกทำไมไม่บอกกันที่รักที่หยอกที่เคยให้ต่อกันความเฉยชาที่เธอให้มาเริ่มจะกดดันให้ฉันน้อยใจคิดหาทางออกค้นหา
Now we go back to the dry vocal like it was at the beginning of the song. No harmonizer, no nothing.
ทางออกค้นหาทางแก้แต่เหตุผลวกวนซะเหลือเกินพยายามกี่ครั้ง
So on Payayam, I put the reverb on. Listen to that.
วกวนซะเหลือเกินพยายามกี่ครั้งก็ตามแต่ฉันก็ได้แค่ผิดหวังจริงหรือหลอกทำไมไม่บอกกัน
And so on. And so the outro just goes like this. A bit more delay. And that's it.
ดันให้ฉันน้อยใจให้ฉันน้อยใจให้ฉันน้อยใจ
That, I think, is that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I've enjoyed remembering making the album. There will be more coming soon. I also want to tell you that I'm planning a big project next year, 2020. The story from my side of the glass, all about Silly Fools, the secrets and how we made Candyman, Mint, Juicy and King Size. You see, I didn't just record them well. I thought it was most important to give them a unique sound. So I thought long and hard about ideas and innovations in recording techniques. I also wanted to show the world a new level of technical creativity. Using the recording studio as my musical instrument, I experimented, and happily, many of my ideas worked out well. These ideas and innovations I will share with you. I want to thank GMM Grammy for making all those albums possible and for taking good care of the archive masters. I also want to thank Sid, my page admin and translator, for all his hard work. Thanks, Sid. If you enjoyed this and you want more, please subscribe by clicking the red button below and also click the bell icon so you will get notified when I upload the next one. เจอกันนะครับ
So I ask you, do you ever put any input in your albums or do you just jerk off?
No, I don't do anything at all. I just sit here and do nothing, and I am successful.
Wow, thank you very much.
Wonderful life.
Thank you.